All right, we're recording. So this is my second video ever um, over here at Ranting and Drop C, my new channel. Nothing I'm going to take super seriously. I'm probably never going to edit a video. I don't plan on having too many subscribers, but it's going to be a hobby of mine. Obviously, you saw the NHL standings video if you've watched it anyway. I'm going to be doing that about every day, maybe every other day. We'll do a standings update for NHL. I'm a huge hockey fan. A little bit about me. I'm here in Arizona. Currently still in the Air Force. I'm getting out in about 2 weeks. Got a lot of time on my hands. Going to be going to school here in a couple months. It's March, so obviously college right now, they're in the spring semester. By the time I get out at the end of this month, I'll kind of have to wait it out till summer to hit the ground running. But this is going to be one of the hobbies that I'm going to have. If I do get any viewers and there's going to be any comments or there's any topics that you guys want to hear, I'll go ahead and touch on those. But this channel is mostly going to be for me and the few viewers that may be interested in very niche topics like the NHL, metal. As you can see, I've got some guitars and stuff behind me. I'm wearing a Motorhead crew neck. I'm a big metalhead. I love playing metal. In fact, my other channel is called Shitty Hardcore Covers. I got quite a few covers up of different like hardcore songs and some metal songs. Try to think of a little bit more about me. I'm a huge hockey fan, huge sports fan in general. Lemmy's joining us. It's my cat back there. I had to close the blinds because the lighting is just horrible. In fact, my big head is going to block it, so you guys can actually see me. But yeah, I'm just kind of making this video as a little bit of an introduction. There's going to be tons of uhs and ums and stutters, and I really don't plan on getting into the weeds as far as editing or anything like that. But there's going to be some topics that I'm going to want to touch on. And even if it's just me, yelling into the wind, that's fine. It's just going to be something that gives me something to do, and hopefully somebody can find some use out of it. Give you a little bit more about me, though. 33 years old. I've been in the Air Force for about 7 years. I've had 2 different jobs. Started off as electrical power production, which is fancy term for saying I worked on big, huge diesel generators. Did that for 4 years. Was a good job. I mean, it translates well into the civilian side of things. It just was pretty mundane. You're turning a wrench on something that doesn't move, so it's pretty boring. Generators don't break very often. They're built to last, so if you do preventative maintenance, which is mostly what we did, you were watching a generator run. That is your job. So I ended up retraining out of that after 4 years, got into comm. Specifically, I was a systems manager, cyber systems. Ended up not even doing that job. That's what I was trained to do. I ended up in a radio shop, learned a lot of cool stuff, but it honestly wasn't for me. And I'm mostly getting out because this is just not something I want to do for the rest of my life. The people who do 20, hats off to you. That's awesome. I'm just not that guy. I was actually going to get out after 4 years, but I had the opportunity to retrain, and I wanted to go ahead and exhaust every resource that I had in the military. I mean, you put the time into doing that. Hey, knock that off. Anyway, so you put the time into being in the military, you want to go ahead and get everything out of it. So I figured it would be irresponsible to not at least try another job. So that's what I did. IT's not for me. Radio's not for me. I'm going to use my GI Bill to tackle my initial goals. I wanted to get into diagnostic imaging. I think my top 4 jobs are all healthcare related. My goal was to join the Air Force, do 4 years, get training and OJT on the job training, and go back to the civilian side and kind of hit the ground running. Number 1 job that I wanted to do was biomed tech, which how I understood it at the time was you're the guy that works on hospital equipment. And I think you make decent money on the outside, outside being the civilian sector. Number 2, I want to say was diagnostic imaging, which is kind of what I'm trying to get into now. X-ray tech. the programs are super competitive. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm going to apply for it. I'm only 4 classes away from being able to apply for the program. So going to hit the ground running this summer, knock out some college algebra, knock out a couple other humanities prereqs that I need to knock out. And then we're going to do anatomy and physiology one in the fall and hopefully apply by January. But yeah, I feel like my calling has always been to help people. I could see myself as like a VA counselor of some sorts too. That's part of the reason why I started this channel too. There's going to be some videos tailored directly towards people who want to join the military, specifically the Air Force, people who are already in the Air Force, curious about certain systems, and people getting out. That's what I'm going through right now is the transition back to civilian life, which has been honestly one of the most stressful times of my life to navigate. So on top of the military stuff, the NHL stuff that you're going to hear from me on this channel, you might get some album reviews. You might get, like I said, random videos of random rants, especially if you guys have any recommendations or requested content in the comments. I don't anticipate on this getting a whole lot of views, but if it does, cool. If not, cool. Other than that, we'll have a few more videos. I might have another intro, but I just wanted to go ahead and get my face out there and tell you welcome to the channel, and y'all have a good one. See you next time.